no. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Pow day.
Dude, let's go.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Maybe the single greatest place on earth, Circa Resort and Casino, and specifically the sports book inside Circa Resort and Casino, the largest sports book in the world, 78 million pixel screen. They've got the VSiN show on. They broadcast live from here. They've got the gambling odds. Come down the escalator with us here as we bring you into just a palace. I know Jay Tust loves this spot here at Circa Resort and Casino, and I need Jay's help here on some of these betting odds. We'll start with the Super Bowl. We've got, first of all, Jay, I got a seat reserved for you for the Super Bowl, for the Mountain West Tournament, a recliner. They wait on you. They bring the stuff to you. Just an amazing spot here at Circa Resort and Casino. Derek Stevens has done it again. And, yes, the Super Bowl odds, every single prop, every single bet you could possibly have. I don't know how heads is a slight favorite right now for the coin toss, but minus 104 to minus 103 for tails. Find something in here, Jay, for us that maybe is a good one here. You got the Chiefs converting a fourth down is minus 165. A kicker or punter getting a solo tackle will get you plus 825 on your money if that can happen. And if you think the Chiefs can win in overtime, you get plus 1,500 on that one. And Kareem Hunt rushing yards, Patrick Mahomes. What do you like on here, Jay? Come on, give us something. You're muted, Jay.
I was going to go with whatever you think, bud.
I have no idea on this, to be honest with you, but a lot of odds. We're going to be back on Sunday for the Super Bowl. Can't wait for that. I like the Saquon Barkley over maybe there. But, of course, tonight, Mountain West basketball, Utah State favored by 8.5 over Wyoming. Nevada favored by 10 over Air Force. San Jose State minus 3 over Fresno. And the game of the night, the final game to tip off in college basketball tonight, Boise State here at Circa Sports, a 3-point favorite over UNLV at Circa Resort and Casino. Welcome on in. Quick live look before we bring on our man, Jay Tust. We are here in the sports book, Circa Resort and Casino. We appreciate Aaron and Derek and everybody for helping us get down here, and we're having a great time as always. Really appreciate it. Always happy to be here. And if you've never been to Circa Resort and Casino in this palace that is the Sportsbook, you need to get down here right away. It's an amazing spot. We're happy to be here, and we appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. We bring in our man, Jay Tust, sports director at KTVB. I made Jay do it an hour later, and I've been changing up the time, so I apologize, Jay. You could have said heck with it, but you're nice enough to still stick around, and we appreciate you for your time today. We could have just read your Twitter feed today. You've got a lot of great stats and information on there on the basketball game, on the football, coaching front. We'll get to all that, but you've been churning out some graphics and some tweets this morning, sir.
Just trying to keep up with you, buddy. Yeah, game day for Boise State, and I think if you kind of look at the rest of the way, this isn't their toughest game, but if they want to get back in the fight here, they got to get this one tonight.
Huge game tonight for Boise State, as he said. The KenPom number is 2. The Vegas line is 3. And you have San Jose State, Jay, at home on Friday. I mean, you find a way to win this one, you can have a nice little 4-game winning streak maybe and another 8 days off before you go down to Viejas.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing is feel better about going into this next bye, right? Like it's kind of an extended bye too because Boise State does play on a Friday this week, and then they wouldn't play again until that following Saturday. So that would certainly be nice for them to have a better few days off, feeling good about themselves as kind of opposed to the last bye where they went in on a 2-game losing streak. But I mean, you look at UNLV's record, 11-11 overall, 5-6 in league play, and it certainly isn't that intimidating. But I do think this is kind of this is one that I want to pay attention to what it says on paper. This is a little scarier than I think that people are giving it credit for. UNLV's on a 4-game losing streak. They went into Viejas and won against San Diego State, and ever since then they haven't won a game. Like that's wild.
And maybe that says more about San Diego State this year than it does UNLV because they've had some struggles themselves. But you're right. I mean, but they also beat Utah State in this building. I mean, everybody knows how good Utah State is, and that's all Leon Rice is needing to put up on the board before the game tonight. Yeah, they went into Viejas and won, and also in the same building Boise State's playing in tonight, they beat Utah State, when they were undefeated in the league, I believe. That was their first loss, right, in league. So, I mean, that was it's a very scary game. I agree with you, Jay. And this is a game where we're going to, it's nice to say, oh, they're getting some things turned around. The defense is better. It's going in the right direction when it's, 2 home games against a 3-7 team and a 1-9 team or whatever it is in Fresno and Nevada. I think tonight we're really going to see, okay, is this team actually on an ascent here? Did they actually figure some things out? I mean, this, kind of call it a big boy game. Like, this is a game we're going to find out a lot about. Okay, this is a Mountain West road game. You're only favored by a couple points. The metrics have this being kind of a pick-em type game. If you can come down here and find a way to win this game, I think after tonight, is when you could really go, okay, we might have something here.
Yeah, it's kind of wild to me. Boise State's won 9 out of the last 10 against UNLV as well, which I knew that
crazy.
They've had some success against those guys, but I didn't realize it's been that kind of dominant over the last 4 or 5 years or so. That's pretty darn good right there. Boise State's been pretty tough on the road, but I think they kind of have to prove it this year. I think the interesting thing for me, BJ, will be the start. I think you got a UNLV team that one could only assume those guys are going to come out fired up today because this has to be an emotional game for them. And Boise State's kind of been emphasizing defense out of the gate, especially in that first rotation before the first media timeout. And so you have to play enough defense to make up for maybe some offensive limitations, if you will, or shoot the ball really well early on. I don't know, but those first few minutes, I assume, are going to be rather emotional for UNLV as they try to turn their season back in the right direction.
And they're not expecting much of a crowd tonight either. They have not been drawing well down here, and especially, Jay, on an 8 p.m. Tuesday night game. There's just a lot of other things in Vegas to do at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night than come out. And so, and when you factor in, as you've been to the Thomas and Mack Center, hundreds of times, 5,000 in that arena is different than 5,000, at San Jose or something. So it's an 18,000 seat arena. They're expecting 4,000 or 5,000. It's going to be not much of an atmosphere tonight, which, sometimes helps, but sometimes can hurt, the road team as well when there's a lack of an atmosphere.
Yeah. UNLV hasn't been super good in close games this year either. Man, you look at they just couldn't finish against Utah State, couldn't quite finish against New Mexico. They were in all those games, but just couldn't quite finish them. You even look against Nevada. I mean, they're at the free throw line late in that game. with a chance to really get back into that contest. And I believe it was De'Don Thomas Jr. that missed that free throw. It seems like he's kind of struggled in late game situations at the free throw line this year, despite the fact he's a phenomenal player. So
I thought you were going best point guard in the Mountain West there.
not quite that, man. Will be a great point guard matchup though. I mean, him and Alvaro they're not the best, but they're two of the best. And if I'm ranking them right now, obviously Donovan Dent's one, but take your pick at number two. I would lean Alvaro at this point in time.
It's Keaton says, I'll be there tonight, expecting 20% capacity. So it's Keaton. There you go. Looking forward to seeing you at the game tonight. BSU Bill says this game's going to be tricky, going to be a good litmus test to see if we've actually improved or if we just looked good because we beat up on bad teams. Agree with that. And Jay, I was looking at another one of your stats here tonight on Twitter. 20 road wins in conference play for Boise State since the start of the 2021-2022 season. The most in the Mountain West, and that, I think it was last year, the year before, they were 7-2 on the road in league play. Like, that has really been in years past a thing that has kind of helped them either win the league or be right there at the top of the standings and make the NCAA tournament. And this year, just 2-4, I believe, in true road games. Now, yes, they've played at maybe three of the four hardest venues in the entire league already, but certainly winning on the road down the stretch here is going to be key for this team, starting with tonight's game.
Yeah, I believe it's your boy Jeff Grammer over in Albuquerque that really does a good job keeping track of that plus minus home win, road win, loss, whatever stat. And right now, Boise State's kind of in the middle of the pack of those. So if they could win today, though, they would shoot kind of back into the top three, I believe, because road wins they're just worth more. They're just worth more in terms of trying to compete for conference titles. So this is going to be a really tell-all game. I think that if they go get, I don't really think it's worth spending a ton of time on in terms of talking about at-large hopes and things like that. But, if they get this one tonight, I would still say, if they win out, they'll be on the bubble. But if they don't get this one tonight, it really starts to dwindle for them, I believe, because you're going to have to pull some. You would absolutely have to run the table the rest of the way, in my opinion, to even have any remote chance of being on the bubble.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's a big one tonight, Jay, as you know, because if Boise State wins, that gives him a 3-game lead on sixth place for the bye. So you lose tonight, you're only 1 game up on that. But if you win tonight with the remaining schedule they have, I don't want to say it's official. Obviously, a lot still has to happen. But to be 3 games up on sixth place with, 8-9 games to play, they'd be in a really, really good chance to secure at least that top 5 seed and get that first-round bye with a win tonight.
No, you're exactly right. And in some cases, I was looking at that today, and you could even argue that they're almost up 4 games because not only would they be up 3, but they'd have the head-to-head against UNLV. They already have the head-to-head against Wyoming, so they would just be in a pretty darn good spot moving forward in terms of securing that first-round bye. And then after that, it's just seeing, if they can get to the 3 seed and change the dynamics of your path to a potential title, but. As it is right now, that 4 spot would be that 4 or 5 game is not going to be an easy one in order to earn your way to the Mountain West Championship.
Yeah, the dreaded 3 seed with the 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time starts, but may not be maybe what you're at this point. You might take that though, given the path for the 4-5 and haven't But I guess all these teams, we'll see how it shakes out, Jay. But anybody could beat anybody. I think New Mexico right now is proven to be the class of the conference here as first place. But there's still 10 games to go. We might be saying it's, San Diego State's looking good again. Oh, Boise State's the hottest team. Nobody wants to play them. We'll see when the standings shake out. But if you're putting the bracket together and starting this tournament tomorrow, you would like to probably avoid New Mexico at this point.
Yeah, you would. New Mexico, I think that they are the class of the Mountain West. I think the only thing that you kind of hope if you're a member of Bronco Nation is maybe New Mexico's kind of peaking. Typically Boise State plays nearly unbeatable basketball in the month of January, and that was kind of New Mexico this year. So maybe you kind of hope that they've hit their peak, while Boise State, I don't know what their peak is, but I'm pretty confident in saying they haven't been anywhere near it on a consistent basis. So we'll see if they can get that. Another thing about the Broncos too, we bring up home and road and all that stuff. In terms of margin of victory, they've been pretty flat out dominant at home, but they really do have to go show. They've lost some close ones on the road. They got to go show that they can finish and close the game out. On the road this season. If they even had, one of those games where Ian Martinez hits a 4-point play inside of what was it, 7 or 8 seconds to go, and they give up an offensive rebound late against Colorado State, and Colorado State hits a game-winning 3 with 4 seconds to go. If they get just one of those, even it feels very different right now.
Oh
So
yeah.
they have to prove that they can go out and close out a game on the road tonight.
He is Emmy-winning KTVB sports director Jay Tust. My name is BJ Rains. We are here at Circa Resort and Casino getting set for the basketball game tonight, Boise State and UNLV. Jay will be making his way down here to Vegas for the Mountain West tournament in a month or so, and looking forward to that. Jay, by the way, coming up at 9:30, I know you've done about 30 minutes of prep work, but for the final few minutes of the show, Justin Schultz, the softball coach, will be popping on. They start their season this weekend, and we wanted to, even on a basketball game day, give the softball team a little bit of love. So Coach Schultz will join us at 10:30 for a couple of minutes as we wrap up the show. We also, after that, when we say goodbye to Jay and Justin, I will do our giveaway. We're going to give away our trip. It's been kind of a windy road to get to this point. We've had some things that have popped up, but we are giving away a $500 gift card to Southwest Airlines, 2-night stay here at Circa Resort and Casino, and a gift certificate for a dinner at Barry's Prime here. And Jay, you can vouch the steaks are not bad here at Barry's, so we'll be giving that away at the end of the show as well. So don't go anywhere. But what did you make, Jay, of these last two games and what we've just seen now with the rotations and went from 11 to 9? I mean, I know Lockett and Anderson got in garbage time there, but they didn't play really meaningful minutes again. So we go from 11 down to 9 in terms of the rotation. We're kind of starting to see how this plays out. I still don't understand the I don't have a problem with it. I don't know why I keep bringing it up, I guess. I think it's more just funny and dumb, but I don't understand the Ugbo playing for 2 minutes and then not playing the rest of the half. I mean, it is what it is. As long as we're getting the 30 minutes or whatever from Buchanan, I guess I don't really care, but that just still seems kind of odd to me. But other than that, we're getting Buchanan more minutes. We're getting, a shorter rotation, like some of the things we've wanted to see. And I know you had a stat about Julian Bowie on Twitter today as well. I mean, he's a guy I want to continue to see more of here moving forward. But just the last couple of games here. And again, we have to couch it. 2 not very good teams that they beat at home. But just with what we've seen since the rock bottom moment, as Leon Rice said, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's kind of tough to decipher right now. And I know Leon said after the game the other day, like Fresno's better than their record. I'm sorry, I don't think that's the case, man. I was not very impressed with Fresno at all. They got a couple of decent players, but that was a bad basketball team, if I'm just being honest. And I know that at any given level, that if Boise State didn't show up that night, I know that Fresno State was capable of beating them. I would agree with that. But I don't think that was a team that was better than their record. And so now I will say this. I think you are going to face a team that's better than their record tonight just because they have Deion Thomas Jr. running the show. And so how does that translate? How does that transition? Can they continue this to build momentum and not take a step back? And, I think earlier in the year, that whole 2 steps forward, 1 step back analogy, like I think that you can, that's just that another phrase for that is just development, right? Like it's not going to be perfect, but once you get to this point in time in the year, you would prefer to not take any steps back because it's February. You should know your team to the point where, you can pretty much consistently count on the rotations and the players that you put on the floor. And sure, there's going to be off nights, but energy and effort is controllable. So you need to lean on those things, or hope you can lean on those things with whoever you have on the floor. So I agree with you. I think that the Ugbo thing's funny. I mean, clearly, I think it just comes down to trying to steal a couple of early minutes just in case Javen Buchanan picks up a foul in the first 3 minutes of the game. And then if that happens, I think it changes the dynamics of the final 37 minutes of the game. So I think it's just one of those things where they're just hoping they can get through that like little stretch right there and then be able to control it the rest of the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen. I
haven't either. It's silly. It's pretty silly.
I mean, and not just the 3 minutes, but then he literally doesn't play the rest of the half, and then starts his 2 minutes the second half and didn't play again the rest. And
it wasn't quite as dramatic, but don't you remember when Chandler Hutchison was a true freshman and they put him in the starting lineup and he was a starter, but there'd be games where he'd play like 6 minutes. Like it was. Well,
it's one thing if he's doing something, where it's like one thing if Ugbo would play more minutes if he, did something and they didn't see something they liked and they hooked him. But like the plan all along is no, you get to start and you're playing by 17:30 on the clock. Here's Buchanan getting up to go check in. And so maybe some guys just like coming off the bench if it's as simple as that, and as simple as, you're right, they want to maybe keep a foul or something, but just this whole, we want to set the tone defensively with Ugbo and all this. Like, he's getting 3 possessions on defense. What are we like? Let's not make this more than it is. And like I said, I've talked about it like 3 shows in a row, so I'm making too big of a deal about it when I say I don't care, I guess. But I guess the point is, I don't know. I don't dislike it. It just doesn't make any sense to me, I guess. So we'll see if that continues tonight. What else in terms of, we mentioned, Lockett. Were you surprised, I guess, that Lockett was one of the odd man out of this the last 2 games? And what do you make of the guard rotation here?
Honestly, I'm just kind of interested to see what the plan is with Lockett moving forward, because clearly he's a kid that is immensely talented. But they need to find a way to keep him engaged and all that stuff, because he's a huge part of their future. And this just the way that college basketball or college sports are in general these days. Guys aren't as tied to their current locations as they once were. So I don't really want to speculate about that too much, but I just think that it's going to be very important to find a way to keep him invested and feel like he's a part of the team. Because you started for 5 or 6 straight games, and then he didn't play at all against Nevada. And he barely played. The only reason why he played is because it was a blowout against Fresno State. If they were not up 27 with 3 minutes to go, which was well above the line that they pretend don't exist in terms of quality of victories. If they weren't up 27 with 3 minutes to go, he would not have played in that game. Like that, him and Dylan Anderson for that matter.
And you're right, Jay. You're right, because right now, like, you hate to have to bring it up, but like in this day and age, transfer portal, NIL, like if a kid, like, you have to put him, and I know Leon would say, no, you don't. You win the game. You do what's best for your team. You worry about next year, but some form of it has to be, hey, if you're not playing this guy and he's not happy, he's probably not here next year, and you have to be okay with that. I mean, and not to say that's the case with a guy like Chris Lockett in particular, but if a guy like Chris Lockett is pushed out and he sees that Bowie and some of these guys are ahead of him moving forward, and I don't know. I'm not ready to give up on Chris Lockett Jr.
No.
I think immense talent, but for right now, for this team, they just saw something where they didn't think he deserved minutes right now, and it's just, he went from, what was it, 6-7 games in a row that he started to not even playing.
Yeah, I think it was 6, I think, and then didn't even play.
And again, coaches watch way more film, they study way more analytics, they know what they're doing, and they've won 2 games since. So again, to this point. It's hard to argue with what they're doing, but that is a guy, and I mean, Dylan Anderson might be in the same boat, to be honest, and he's a guy that maybe some fans would probably be disappointed about that. Others maybe haven't, just because he hasn't had the impact that some thought he might. That's no disrespect to Dylan Anderson. I mean, he's not playing much. It's not like it would be a massive loss if he left, but he's another guy that you probably have to wonder. Both those guys sitting there on the end of the bench going, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah, I think Dylan's is just a little different, because Lockett is more one of, like, you would call him kind of your program guy. Like, he's a guy that you've had in for a couple years now, and by year 2, probably especially year 3, because he did redshirt one of those years, you hope that he's the guy that's ready to make that big jump, and you've developed him and things like that. Where Dylan, I mean, let's face it, he was more of a little bit of a gamble. You're just taking word of advice and things like that on committing to him. So that certainly has not worked out this year. And while you could still see a potential way for Lockett to get back into the rotation, I have a really difficult time thinking that Dylan Anderson's going to play significant minutes again this year. I could be very wrong on that. Like, maybe he comes out and plays 20 minutes tonight. I don't know, but it just feels like it would be difficult for him to really make an impact on this team the rest of the way.
If you go back and look, though, I believe he started and he played 18 minutes, Jay. I'm trying to look here. I believe he started against UNLV the last time. That was when he was still in the starting lineup and played 18 minutes against UNLV. So we'll have to see if maybe that's something with the matchup. He had 7 points in that game.
Yeah.
I believe he hit a 3-pointer early in that game as well. So again, I don't know if you go from 2 games for playing 2 minutes to all of a sudden getting big minutes in this game. They do, UNLV was also playing some bigger guys that aren't necessarily playing as much now either. So we'll see there. Jay, I know we don't have a ton of time because Coach Schultz is coming on in a few minutes here. I wanted to get your take on the Chinander contract news here in just a second as well. Get a little football nugget in there, but I do want to thank a couple of our sponsors that help us get down here to Las Vegas to do this show here for Bronco Nation News, and that includes our title sponsor, Andy Rowe and RowPaint.com. all your concrete coatings, your interior, your exterior painting needs, make sure you hit up our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Taco Bell, looking for a spot to take the family out to dinner tonight? I highly recommend a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location, the Cantina Bowls, the $7 Lux Cravings box. My kids love the simple dollar cheesy roll-up. Sometimes gets it done as well. So TacoBellWorks.com. Find a location near you and find more information on applying for a job. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, there's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile e-branch online banking right there on your smartphone. Idaho Central Credit Union. You may think you like your bank. I promise you'll like ICCU more. Make the switch today, ICCU.com. Hey, Jacksons, hope you took advantage yesterday of the $2 hot dog and fountain drink special. If the Broncos score 70 points, you get a hot dog and a fountain drink for $2 at Jacksons. $2 hot dog and fountain drink at Jacksons with your Let's Go Rewards app. And that's when the Broncos score 70 points at Jackson. Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game. TheSpaTeam.com, locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team, whether it's a sauna, a spa, a pool table, you name it. Check them out online at TheSpaTeam.com. Hey, the BlueandOrangeStore.com has your best selection of Boise State gear at the best prices. Boise State basketball jerseys, coaches, sideline apparel, hats, sweatshirts. I know there's a lot of options in town for your Boise State gear, but the best selection, the best prices. Support sponsors, folks. The Blue and Orange Store. You can order anywhere in the world online at the blueandorangestore.com and Lithia Ford of Boise. LithiaFordBoise.com is their website. They have new NIL deals with multiple football players, including Latrell Caples. They got him in the Ford Ranger. They got Roger Carrion. They've got Cage Casey. So they're helping keep some of your favorite student athletes here at Boise State in terms of the NIL game and letting them rock some vehicles from Lithia Ford. So return the favor for your next car or truck purchase and make it at Lithia Ford of Boise. All right, Jay, the football news. Nice get on that. I hadn't seen that out there yet. Nice job for you getting the term sheet. Eric Shenander getting a pretty big raise. I think we thought maybe a raise was coming at some point, but Boise State has now surpassed the $500,000 for a coordinator. Pretty. I think it's a huge deal. It shows the commitment Boise State continues to make. But you had the news this morning.
Yeah, and there's other incentives that can even drive that up a little bit more, but I think that you and I both know that's a big deal for a number of reasons. Not only is Eric good at his job, the players love him, but now Boise State, second-year head coach Spencer Danielson doesn't have to worry about finding a new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, in the same offseason, which, the offensive coordinator, it's a different scenario because, Nate Potter was basically groomed over the last year to take over. But I just think that going into next year with the continuity, and it's not only the continuity between coaches, it's the fact that Eric Shenander's not going to spend half the season or a few games or whatever it is just trying to figure out his players and who can do what and who thrives in what situations and things like that. Like, he goes in with a pretty good understanding of what this team is capable of next year. And last year they blitzed and they got after the quarterback better than anyone else in the country. And I kind of laugh, BJ, because the math didn't initially click for me, but they basically give Eric Chenander $10,000 per sack. They had 55 sacks. He's making $550,000 next year. I think that's pretty funny.
How about that? And he did a heck of a job, man. And you take this, and I assume there's some other. I don't know. Did you get all the coaches, or that was the one you got, or do we know any other terms for other coaches? Because I am curious about some of these other ones in terms of the raises that some of these guys are getting. We know about the coordinators and some of those, the guys when they got the promotions on the offensive side, those had already come out. But I'm wondering for some of the just generic position coaches. And Frank Maile, we both had that on Twitter the other night as well. I don't know if Boise State's put anything out official on that, Jay, but getting Frank back, and now you have the new rule where you can have unlimited coaches, so to speak. So even though he's maybe he's a analyst, but he could essentially help coach the defensive line and maybe, I don't know if they call it the analyst / assistant D-line coach or what they call it, but he's got a specialty there, and that might free Eric Chenander up to do some other things with the defense at times. I'm curious how they use them, but anytime you have a chance to get a veteran coach like that, who I've heard great things from Scott Matlock and others talking about Frank Maile, I thought that was, and again, I don't think it's official yet, but that's big news for Boise State to get Frank Maile back. Yeah,
that's a home run, man. I mean, to get Frank back at the very least, a pretty big discount of probably when he was here the first time, right? Like, he has tremendous experience. The players loved him. He brings a real a noticeable intensity and passion to the game. that's a nice get. I mean, he was at my alma mater, and I was hoping that the Cougs would find a way to keep him on staff. And that they had a new coach there and a new regime, and he brought in his own dude, and that's perfectly fine. But Frank's a really good dude, and that's a really nice get for Spencer Danielson to add to his staff. I mean, that just seems like extra. That's a nice get, man.
And final thing on the football coaching staff before we get to Coach Schultz, but as a whole, Jay, like, you lose Dirk Cutter, but the continuity on this staff, I just can't remember a time where, especially on the defensive side of the ball, you bring back literally everybody, and then on the offensive side, you do lose Dirk Cutter, but you knew all along you were going to lose him. And for a team that went to the CFP, I mean, sometimes it's not necessarily a good thing that they're all coming back, but for a team that went to the CFP, did what they did, and to literally bring back, their entire coaching staff, except for the OC that you knew was retiring, that's really unheard of in this day and age.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you even go back to the 2014 Fiesta Bowl, and I can't remember if was it Marcel Yates was their DC back then, and I can't remember if he immediately left, but it wasn't long after that he took that shot at A&M, I believe, and now at that point in time too, obviously Mike Sanford, your boy, friend of the program. He left for an opportunity as well, and so the fact that they could win 12 games, go to the CFP, and still bring back everybody they wanted to bring back is pretty darn impressive. And again, I think it also really shows that Jeremiah Dickey and the athletic department is willing to invest to keep people that they value. To go to 550, that makes Shenander the highest paid assistant coach in school history, and it's by a pretty wide margin there too, BJ. That's by about $90,000, I believe, that he's the highest.
Well, looking forward to that, and nice work on the Shenander news. And so 550, nice payday for him. They keep the football staff together, and we are approaching is signing day tomorrow, by the way?
It is.
Yeah, that's just crazy nowadays.
Not a lot of action. Don't expect much action from Boise State, though.
And then about another month or so until fall or spring practice gets going here in about a month. So another sport that's getting going here in just a couple of days. A lot of excitement. Sophia Knight, the preseason player of the year. The Broncos picked high and pulling over in his car to join us for a few minutes. We appreciate Justin Schultz, the head softball coach at Boise State. Coach Schultz, love that hat there. That's a sweet-looking hat. Thanks for jumping on. How you doing?
Yeah, thanks, BJ. I appreciate you guys having me again. And yeah, this hat is one of my favorites. I love the old-school Bronco logo with the state of Idaho.
You got to be fired up, man. I know it's not exactly softball weather in Boise these days, but kicking off the season here in a couple days, it's got to be super excited for you and the team.
Yeah, we're excited to get to a little bit warmer climate and get to play some softball, although I just got a text from the Sacramento State coach talking about some weather options. So we'll be adaptable out there as well. It looks like there's going to be some rain on Thursday and might have to mess with our game time a little bit. But one thing Boise's done is it's prepared us to be adaptable with the weather.
Schultz, how do you view practicing inside cabin? Is that, early in the year, is that it's hard to believe that that could actually be a competitive advantage for you guys. But I was over there the other day, and like the hitter's eye, quote unquote, in there is basically the same color as the white softball you were using that day. I mean, are there any advantages to your guys' current practice schedule this early in the year?
Yeah, I think it's a mindset thing. I think you can go in there and say, oh, we haven't been on a real field. We haven't had ground balls on dirt. Or you can look at it and say, great athletes adapt. And that's what we've talked about with our athletes is it's a slightly different ball than we would use in season. It's a indoor square-like stadium with walls. It's like it creates adversity. And I think that's what we've been preaching all of January is just it's going to create adversity to help us get through weeks like we're heading into. We're going to have weather delays. We're going to have some things not go our way early. How do we use it to our advantage? And yeah, our hitters should be able to hit opening day because that ball should look very, very bright being outside and actually being visible for sure.
As of now, go ahead, Jay.
No, I was say just being around practice. It seems like your players are chomping at the bit here, though. I mean, what is it about the connection of this team? That a lot of these girls know each other now. You've been here for a while now. There's some consistency. How will this make a difference as you guys, make a run of achieving your ultimate goal of getting to an NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. Consistency is key. I think in a world where there's so much change every year, trust takes time. And I think with us being here 4 years, two of my assistants have been here the entire time. We bring in a new assistant who played for me at Oregon, understands the philosophies. I think the team has really bought into everything that we're preaching, but they've bought into what they're preaching as a team as well. And that's caring for each other and really fighting for each other and not worrying about all the outside noise out there.
So as of now, 3:00 Thursday, I believe, Mountain Time, ESPN Plus against Sacramento State. You also play St. Mary's, Utah Valley, and UC Davis over the weekend there, I believe. You mentioned, Sophia Knight, Player of the Year. I mean, just I guess what other than the team bonding and kind of everybody liking each other and the familiarity, what else has you most excited about this season?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's the firepower that we bring back on offense. I think if you look at our lineup, we bring back, I think, 7 of 10 starters. We kind of started about 10 people last year, and 7 of those 10 are back. You've got athletes like Sophia Knight who are pushing the tempo at practice. The 4 infielders that I've been most proud of, though, are Holly Farmer, a freshman, Chloe Hughes, uh, Keely Goucher, and Skylar Stroh. They've really pushed the tempos. Their work ethic every single day. They're playing for jobs. They're playing 110%. And so I think it's lifted the tempo of our practices. And so I want to give them a shout out because you never know what the lineup's going to look like. But I think those 4 in particular in the infield have really set the tone for practices. And they've made us a lot better this January for sure. But Sophia Knight, let's talk about her first and kind of just dive into everything that she can do. I think the one thing that'll surprise you this year is, yes, she'll be on base a bunch, but I think her power numbers are improving. I think she's worked a lot on that, trying to drive in runs with how good the bottom of our order will be. We've asked her to be more of a RBI person when the bases are loaded, runners are in scoring position, and I think she's going to cash in a lot more runs this year for us.
It was funny. I went out to practice the other day, Justin, and showed up and I heard you guys were scrimmaging. And I was a little bummed because I wanted to get some shots of Sophia at the dish. And so, if she's taking BP, I got unlimited, right? Sure enough, that when I was there, she roped an RBI double to the gap and then laid down a perfect bunt where she advanced an extra base on a throw as well. A lot of instinctual plays. She's worth the price of admission if you want to go watch a Boise State softball game this year. That being said, we know Sydney Groves is going to hit a lot of home runs. Holly Farmer kind of seems like she's going to have her time in the sun here, probably sooner than later in terms of getting the credit that she deserves. But you go back a couple of years ago when you guys won the Mountain West title, I think like E-Flow, your shortstop, she was older, she was more experienced, she was tough. She led the league in hit by pitches. Who is the person on your team this year that's going to kind of embody that type of player where she's going to be tougher, she's going to show up day in and day out, and she's going to be the leader that gets you guys over the hump?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's Holly Farmer. You look at her, and probably like on paper, she doesn't look like she fits that mold. But that kid's a grinder. She works her butt off every single day. She's improved a ton at the dish. There were some holes in her swing last year, and I think she hit 330 last year, I believe. So she still had a really good season with holes in her swing, and I think she's ironed those out. She's a coachable kid, and she loves playing softball. She plays hard. You'll see her at shortstop this year. You'll see her at third base, which I love her versatility. But I think she's somebody who can hit as high as our 2-hole and kind of replace maybe that E Flores mentality. And she could possibly be in the 6, 7, 8 hole protecting some of our bigger hitters. Like, yes, she on paper does not look like that person, but she's going to have some sneaky pop as well this year.
Coach Justin Schultz with us for another question or two here on Bronco Nation News as the softball team gets ready to kick off the season on Thursday. For you, Coach, to get the contract extension, to get the raise, just to have your long-term security here in Boise as the head coach, what did that mean to you? And just big picture, this program, where you're at, here in your tenure and what you still see as the goals and the aspirations and the, things for this program. Just big picture, congrats on the contract and what does that say and where you guys are at right now as a program?
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I actually had to go through the fine print to see. I thought Jay wasn't supposed to be on any more of my interviews, but I guess that got X-nayed in the final draft. But no, in all seriousness, I'm extremely excited for my family, for the recruits, for our team, for our coaching staff. Stability in college sports right now isn't always easy, especially on the softball side. You're starting to see more and more five-year deals. And so for Jeremiah to trust in us, for my SPA Katie to go to bat for me, it's been huge. And I think when we look at our 26 class, we look at our 25 class, and then we're starting to dial down our 27 class. I think it allows them to see that we are here for the longevity, and we're here to build something sustainable and not just be a one-hit wonder.
From that big picture back to a more focused question here. Is this the year that we finally start referring to Tyson Dagenhart as Brooke Thompson's boyfriend, excuse me, because it seems like she is in line to have a really nice season for you guys, making a big jump her senior year.
Yeah, she's been impressive. She started she's been impressive honestly in a lot of her outings. I just saw a post the other day that she had four appearances against Stanford and Cal, 0 runs given up in those. And so I think with the seniority in the past, she didn't get as many opportunities as she wanted. But she's owned it this year. She's showing us why she will probably be our projected ace to start the year. We're going to use all 5 of our pitchers pretty regularly, but I've been so proud of her growth, her competitive drive. I think hanging out with the basketball guys all the time and kind of seeing what their culture's like has brought a little bit of that like dude mentality to her. It's like it's all business when she's in the circle, and she's ready to show people why she's going to be a force to be reckoned with this year.
Excited to see that, Justin. And oh, by the way, her boyfriend plays basketball. You can watch him tonight as well.
Schultz, I guess you do the scheduling yourself, but Jay, we got to give him props here for the schedule. They're getting out of town to go to California this weekend, but they were going to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico next weekend to play Indiana and BYU and some other teams down there. Mid-February, playing softball and getting a little bit of beach time down in Mexico. There's probably worse places to go play a tournament. That's good scheduling there, Justin.
Yeah, we're excited. It's one of the premier tournaments on the college side. It's a great experience for our student athletes, for their families. All-inclusive resort down there, kind of walk to the field and get to see the culture down there. We'll be working at camp with some local elementary schools, which I think is awesome to be able to give back. I might have to reach out to Coach Danielson, though, and see if we can turn on Cavan's heaters and fire that thing up, because I think it's going to be about 78 with some humidity, which will probably feel closer to 100 for us. So we got
Inferno practice. Let's go. Get the Inferno practice back up and going.
Absolutely. But yeah, that should be a fun one, and a lot of good teams down there, and should be some good softball on Flow Softball's network. So all of those will be streamed live, which is really cool.
Well, we appreciate you for coming on, Justin. Best of luck here moving forward. I know you've got some big-time home games coming and down the road a couple of weeks in terms of the non-conference and conference and what you got going on there. But it's going to be exciting. It'll be a little warmer. Doesn't feel like softball weather yet, but you guys will get going this weekend and be back here in a couple of weeks at home. And I know it should be another fun season, and excited to follow it along with you guys and throughout the season. And we got to get one of those broadcasts going again at some point. I was all excited about that, and it didn't work out, but we'll see if we can. Now that Jay's got the Mountain West Network gig here for basketball, maybe we can get something going, get Jay on a softball game too at some point here.
Yeah, I'd love to have you guys out, and I appreciate the time.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Justin.
Right on. Go Broncos.
Justin Schultz, appreciate him for jumping on with us, Jay. Great dude, and so I know it doesn't feel like softball weather. Crazy, they're 48 hours away or whatever from playing their first game. Final thing from you, Jay, before I let you go. Just one final thought on tonight's game. Final thoughts. 9 o'clock. Is this a CBS Sports Network game? I think 9 o'clock tonight, which probably means 9:10 or 9:15. But as you said, they've had some success recently against UNLV, but obviously for whatever limited hopes there are of a conference title, of an at-large bid, all that stuff, like there's no path without a win tonight. So it obviously is a big game for a lot of reasons.
Well, I guess my first thing I would say is don't forget to stop by and grab a Rockstar mango, tangerine, whatever it is, energy drink that you like.
Mango, guava, tangerine, strawberry, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, because it's going to be a late one, obviously. So, that's the thing. I just think energy right out the gate is huge. And even if Boise State wants to emphasize defense in that first rotation, they have to, find a way to execute on offense and make sure that they bring the same intensity that UNLV will undoubtedly bring as UNLV is just not in an awesome spot right now. Not in the spot they thought they'd be, 11-11 overall and 5-6 in Mountain West Conference play. So I think they got to weather that early storm and make sure they stay in the fight. And if they can do that, they'll be okay.
Any upset? Is Utah State on upset alert tonight at all at Wyoming? It's an 8.5-point spread. Probably not. You got Nevada is favored by 10 at Air Force. San Jose favored by 3 at Fresno. 4 road favorites in the Mountain West tonight.
Wow. That's an interesting one. San Jose, they don't got a great record. Man, when's the last time San Jose State was favored on the road? Like outside of a winless Air Force game, probably, or something like that. That's
good point.
That's unique.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, Jay, appreciate you again. Sorry for screwing up the time on you. Thanks so much for jumping on as always. And we'll talk to you on Friday, which will be a game day, Friday night. Friday night home game against San Jose. And hopefully we're talking about a 3-game winning streak here. So we appreciate it, sir.
I agree. Good luck with your giveaway, bud.
Appreciate it. There he is, sports director at KTVB. Jay Tust does a tremendous job. And if you go back and listen to that call that he did on the game the other day against Fresno State, that was great stuff as well if you missed that. So we appreciate Jay for jumping on as always. Works tremendously hard and gives us his time here on these shows, especially on Tuesdays, which is his day off at home. So we truly appreciate Jay giving up some of his time, family time, to jump on with us and talk sports for 45 minutes or so here on Tuesdays and Fridays. Hey, we are going to give away the giveaway here in a second. I got a couple other sponsors that I do need to thank first of all, and then we're going to spin this wheel and see if we can pull this off. But let's see what else we got to do here. If you are a paying subscriber, don't go anywhere. We're going to give this giveaway here in just a second. But I do want to thank Bauscher Real Estate, Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. You can check them out at BauscherRealEstate.com. We appreciate Matt Bauscher and his team. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, highly, highly recommend going with our friend Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Locations across the Treasure Valley, the state of Idaho, surrounding states. Ridley's Family Markets. You can get more information online. Download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line at shopridleys.com. Hey, transportation compliance service. If you're looking for a job, how about the trucking industry? Transcompservice.com can help you out. Get you into the trucking industry. Transcompservice.com. Transcompservice.com. 866-813-7620. That's transportation compliance service. Hey, Lean Feast Meridian. I appreciate Lisa, I think it was, said I'm looking trim here. We're at 39 pounds down right now, and it's thanks in large part to Lean Feast. So if you want to eat healthy and drop some pounds, and even if you're not even trying to lose weight, you just want to eat a little healthier or just have the convenience of having meals made for you, you pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes and you're eating steak, shrimp, chicken, and fish. Highly recommend our friends over at Lean Feast, leanfeastmeridian.com. Speakpipe.com/BNN. You can leave us a voicemail. We'd love to have voicemails tonight on the postgame show, tomorrow morning, whatever you got for us. Speakpipe.com/BNN. Speakpipe.com/BNN. It's brought to you by Signature Roofing. They've been covering our community for more than 2 decades. You can get more information online at mysignatureroofing.com. And whether it's a re-roof, whether it's a repair, whether it's an inspection, whether it's an estimate, they got you covered. And that is at our friends from Signature Roofing. Again, online at mysignatureroofing.com. All right, so let's see if I stand back up here now. We are going to give this I got to get my graphic back on here. Sorry, folks. I'm doing this on the fly, standing up here. All right, it's a Taco Bell Tuesday. There we go. All right, so told everybody with what happened with the giveaway. Apologize. This was supposed to be the day that someone was flying down on the private jet here to Las Vegas. Logistics didn't match up. Some personal things, health matters came up with folks involved in the trip, and we just decided it was better to postpone at this point. But I promised you a trip to Vegas, so that's what we're going to do. We're giving away a trip to Las Vegas. BNN is footing the bill for a $500 gift card to Southwest Airlines, 2-night stay here at the amazing Circa Resort and Casino, and you get at a minimum, a gift certificate for dinner at Barry's Prime Steakhouse here at Barry's. It is a mutually agreeable date on the 2 free nights. I don't know if every night is available. I just need to get that out there legally. Likely the days you want will be fine, but just getting it out there, we do have to make sure it's a mutually agreeable date for the 2 nights at Circa. Might throw in some other stuff as well. We also have 3 $100 gift cards to the Blue and Orange store. So we'll do the grand prize first, and then we will give away 3 $100 gift cards to the Blue and Orange store. And we'll have some other giveaways on future episodes as well, some Taco Bell gift cards and things. But again, apologize, we were not able to do the full trip, but I told you guys we would do a trip, and we were going to do that. So basically, we went to this free website. I'll share my screen here. We went to this free website where you can add all your names in. And our man Jaden Finch helped us do this. If you edit the wheel here, then we can kind of scroll and you can see some of the names. We got Brian Hoyt right there, Jared Volk, Henry Hickey, Joel York. Who else we got in here? George Reif, Brian Barnes. Okay, so all the names of our paying subscribers are in here. We'll stop right there. Mark Purcell, Mike Tallboy. Keep scrolling down. Tony Pedersen, Virginia Rain. Hey, Robert Beeler. I wonder if Bob Beeler wants a trip. He's a paying subscriber. He's eligible. So all the names are in there. We're going to spin the wheel, and we will pick our winner for this trip. And again, thank you to everybody for your support, your sponsorship, telling your friends, your $50, your $70, whatever you pay for your yearly fee. We really, really appreciate it. And we could not do this without without you guys. So there's obviously worse places to have a work trip than Las Vegas and stay here at Circa, but plane flights and all the stuff that goes into this throughout the season, it costs money for all these road trips, for all this coverage. And we're at almost 1,000. Cameron Rep says, holy wow, that's a lot of subs. We are almost 1,000. I think we're at about 950 paying subscribers. So for the 950 of you, we truly do appreciate it. We could not do this without you. We could not pay guys like Jay Tust, could not have Mike Prater, John Mallory, Nathan Carroll, Brad Bedell, all the guys that come on our shows, Riley Smith, Kent Riddle. We pay these guys. So we cannot do it without all of you for helping make that happen. So it's just a small token that we want to return the favor with our yearly giveaway. And we are excited to do that right now. So if we make this full screen here, we can go ahead and maybe I'll zoom in a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. Let's spin the wheel here and give away a trip to Las Vegas. All right. Our winner is going to be Brian Thielen. If your name is Brian Thielen, not sure I know that gentleman, but Brian Thielen will be reaching out to you. You are the winner of a trip to Las Vegas. So congratulations to Brian Thielen. And that's pretty cool that you won the trip there. Brian Thielen is our winner of the trip. He's getting $500 at Southwest Airlines. He's getting a 2-night stay at Circa, and he's getting a dinner at Barry's Prime. And this can be used over the summer, whenever you want. Doesn't have to be for a game or anything. Let's give away a $100 gift card to the Blue and Orange store. We'll be in contact with our winners here. $100 gift card to the Blue and Orange store. And this is going to Serene Matthews. Serene Matthews, you get a $100 gift card to the Blue and Orange store. Thank you for being a paying subscriber of Bronco Nation News. Another $100 gift card to the Blue and Orange store. This is going to go to Michael Adams. Michael Adams, congratulations. You're getting a $100 gift card to the Blue and Orange store. And one more for the time being. Let's give it to Justin K. If you're Justin K, you've won a $100 gift card to the Blue and Orange store. So I don't know if any of those folks are watching right now. Not sure that they are. But, again, all of you, we could not do Bronco Nation News without you guys. And we are very appreciative and thankful for everyone involved in the Bronco Nation News family. And I count all of you as paying subscribers as part of our family and our online community here. So thank you so much for your subscription, spending your hard-earned money, and telling your friends about Bronco Nation News and sharing our videos and liking and retweeting all that stuff. It truly does mean a lot to see where we've grown in 3 years to start a little podcast and website called Bronco Nation News, and now be here staying as part of a sponsorship with the world's largest sports book and everything else we have going on. And we're just super appreciative and happy to be here and happy to see what should be a monster basketball game tonight. Boise State still -3 right now. Boise State is a 3-point favorite tonight. The game is at 8 o'clock, and Ken Palm has this as a 2-point game, by the way. Boise State is at 3 on the number here at Circa Resort and Casino. 9 p.m. start back in Boise. It'll be on the CBS Sports Network. We'll have a full live pregame show starting at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. So back in Boise, 8 p.m. tonight. Get the kids to bed. Turn on your YouTube app, and we'll have a live full-hour pregame show. We'll hear from Leon Rice. We'll hear from Tyson Degenhart. Abe Jackson will join us live. We'll show you warm-ups. Kind of a unique spot for the media for at UNLV. They put us up kind of high, so we'll be a little higher up. We won't be courtside tonight, but we'll have a view from our seat. We'll have Abe Jackson on live, and looking forward to what should be an awesome game tonight for Boise State and UNLV. So appreciate you guys again for subscribing, for sharing, for liking, all that good stuff. We couldn't do it without you. And again, big one tonight for Boise State here in Las Vegas. By the way, we're going to have some announcements to come, but we are going to have some cool parties and things for the Mountain West tournament here at Circa. We have the promo codes. I put them on social media. If you are coming down for the Mountain West tournament and you'd like to stay at the D or Circa, the rates are actually pretty reasonable. All things considered, for a weekend at Circa of conference tournament weekend, you can get Circa for like $250 on Saturday, which sounds expensive, but all things considered, that is a great deal. I mean, I think they're like $600 a night this weekend for the Super Bowl. So $250 is not bad at all for a Saturday. I think the Wednesday, Thursdays in like the $150 range. So you can get some great prices here at Circa using the BNN promo code. Just type in the promo code BNN, I believe. But if you want the actual link, email me. I'll send it to you. They also have a rate over at the D, which is even cheaper. So if you want to stay here, we're going to have a pool party probably on that Friday morning after Boise State hopefully wins the first round game. We're going to have a lot of fun. This is going to kind of be our headquarters for the Mountain West tournament here at Circa and Circa Resort and Casino. So make plans to stay here for the Mountain West tournament and join us. Go use our promo code. Book it today before it runs out. There's only a limited number of rooms on there that have that discount. And then, like I said, we'll be partying it up out there at Stadium Swim and some of the bars and things here throughout the Mountain West tournament. So more info to come on that. So thanks again for your support of Bronco Nation News. We appreciate it. Sorry if you were not one of our winners, but we're going to continue to try to give away some things weekly, Taco Bell gift cards and some other stuff to take advantage of, take advantage of some of our sponsors and their, ability to let us give some stuff away and just to say thank you, because all you guys put in your hard-earned money to sponsor, to give us your money for BNN, and it helps us make this coverage possible. I hope and I feel like you're getting a return on your investment and that it's worth it to you. But if we can add a couple extra gift cards and things and trips to try to make it to sweeten the pot a little bit, we would certainly like to do that as well. So huge game for Boise State. If you came in late, me and Jay spent about 30 minutes talking about it when the show started, and we'll have a full hour-long pregame show coming up tonight at 8 o'clock. Live from the Thomas & Mack Center. So 8 o'clock Mountain Time, late night, brew some coffee, grab another energy drink. Join us tonight at 8 o'clock here on Bronco Nation News for the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. And then we'll be back after the game with the Jacksons postgame show here on Bronco Nation News. You got Bob Beeler, you got Abe Jackson. They'll be calling the game on the radio and for KBOI and KTIK. And then you got Bronco Nation News. So if you want to see warm-ups and get a feel for the game down here, you only got a couple options in terms of listening to them on the radio or watching us here on BNN. So appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Brian says 100% worth the investment of only $50. Appreciate you for saying that, Brian. Thank you so much. But again, from the world's largest sports book, we will see you tonight, 8 o'clock over at Thomas & Mack Center. Boise State, UNLV, a big game for Boise State tonight in the Mountain West. Have a great day. Nathan Carroll's article is up. Go read BroncoNationNews.com right now. You can read Nathan Carroll's preview article, getting you set for this game tonight, looking back at the last time these two teams played a couple weeks ago and what to expect in the rematch tonight. So go read that article right now at BroncoNationNews.com, and then join us at 8 o'clock tonight for the pregame show. Again, thanks to Jay, thanks to Coach Schultz, thanks to everybody here at Circa. We'll see you tonight. Bronco Nation News live from Las Vegas, BroncoNationNews.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, RovePaint.com. Our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Jackson's, and our contributing sponsors, Signature Roofing, Western Collective, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Boucher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and Timberstone Golf Course.